Hello guys, and welcome back to another video. This is the Football Connect. I'm your host Sam, and we are back again with another one. As we are doing what we call the weekend review, as we look at all the games that have been played in the Premier League, give you our thoughts, and we move on, people, because Premier League never stops giving us so many surprises, and I think this week was one of those weeks where we got some amazing surprises. I actually have to say that when you really think about it, in the end, this was a week that was a week made for the players who are never really given that respect, or the people who are considered as finished. The reason I'm saying there are so many players who stood up for this week that so many people thought or actually think that they are no longer even necessary or still have anything to prove in the game. You don't believe me? I might give you some example. Anthony Martial scored a goal. I don't remember the last time he scored a goal, but he scored a goal. And yes, it was not a penalty, it was actually a goal, straightforward a goal. That has to mean something for somebody who was watching the game. Kai Havertz, the man that everyone has been after in Arsenal, scored a goal. He scored a goal that the whole entire Arsenal fan base is shouting and screaming and really excited over that goal. So like I'm saying, this was the week where the players who have not really been given that much respect actually demanded respect from the world. Marcus Rashford scored a goal as well, but we know he will always score goals. But there is a wonder goal from Garnacho here. We need to talk about that one. Maybe a goal of the season when you think maybe a contender. You never know. I'm sure it's a goal of the month. What a goal, by the way. Somebody was saying it's a postcard goal of the year, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So it's crazy. It's really crazy because I felt like it was a statement win for Manchester United. I felt like they came in and they proven to the world that they have something to offer. People should not just count them out because they are not out of this title race. They are not showing that they are done. They're only 2 points away from Spurs. Spurs who are very close. When I look at my table. Who are very close to the likes of Liverpool and all the other teams. Because remember, Liverpool did not win. They drew against Man City, which also is a game that we need to talk about. And also, like I was saying, the unlikely scorers were the goal scorers of the week. Trent Alexander-Arnold scored a crazy goal against Man City. And people are going to say, why are you saying an unlikely this one? Because I think everyone labeled him as the weakest point of Liverpool. And even Pep Guardiola, the way he was playing, he tried to explore or to actually try to make mistakes out of the Trent Alexander side. But if you look at how the goals were scored, the guy who was meant to be the one who became the destroyer could not actually do it. I know he was running around. I know he was causing problems movement-wise, everything he was doing. But he just could not get or create something special that City could actually get a goal out of. People are talking more about how Trent Alexander-Arnold was passed. They're saying 7 times. How does that really help, in the long view of things? How does that help? So there is a lot of things to talk about in these games. I'm going to be looking at them. I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section. Click the like button, subscribe to the connect. Let's start with the bigger game. Manchester City 1, Liverpool 1. So before this game, Manchester City played 23 and won 23 at the Etihad. Not lost a game. That is something. So it means Liverpool were expected to lose for a change. And of course, it was gonna be just straightforward to the point. If Liverpool had lost, nobody was gonna have a problem about it, as everything meant that we were just not yet ready for anything, for any title race, for anything. Remember, this game was at the Etihad. So many teams Especially Liverpool, I don't remember the last time we won at the Etihad. I don't remember. So it meant that the team had to really prove something special. They had to play and actually show us that they had something to prove. And yeah, I felt like Liverpool team did prove that they had something special to offer. I felt like they played the game so perfectly well that in the very end, winning the game was very important, but it gave us something to smile about. Not winning exactly, I mean drawing the game, because there was a mistake in clearance by Alisson, and the ball went into the legs of Haaland, of Aki. Aki was able to retain the ball, and it was a goal. So many people are blaming Alisson for that one, but I just felt like we are talking of a player who 24 hours ago was in a jet coming from Brazil or South America to England. Talk about the player being jet lagged. Everyone loses their concentration whenever they have traveled a long distance. They need at least some few hours to get themselves back together. And I know we can't use excuses like this, but that has to be the fact. Look at the players who came from South America in the game. We're talking about Alex McAllister, who struggled in the game. He had to be taken out, by the way. Darwin Nunes, who was scoring goals just a few days back, could not really manage to control the chances, and he was panicking a lot in the ground, and he was not really causing problems in terms of running and his speed going forward. Also, look at Lucha Diaz. I know he came in the last minute. He was not really able to connect and actually do something with the ball that he had. These guys were tired. Even Julian Alvarez, most of the times that chance he had for Alisson, it's easy score for him, but you could see that these players are jet lagged. Especially the Premier League did not make matters even easier. They decided to make the game a 12:30 game. That just became so much. It means that the preparation to be ready, the focus was actually reduced into a short amount of time. You'd expect that game to be the one that is played maybe as the last game of the week of Saturday. The reason why I want is because of the type of a game that we were expecting, what we wanted to see. Maybe under the lights, this could have been a different game at the Etihad. Maybe we would have seen more of Man City, more of Liverpool. But also Man City team was the weakest in terms of the bench. They had the best starting lineup, but the weakest team. I did not see that one coming. To be honest, I did not see that one coming. I don't know, maybe because they have so many injuries. I was listening to the Football Terrace just a few weeks back, and I had another player actually blaming, another City supporter actually blaming the football world for saying that City are using so much player money and stuff like that. That's why that team was not strong. So he's blaming others. It's never their fault. He's blaming others. Like, it's all your fault. That's why we are here. It's not. To be honest, it's not our fault. We don't even know what is happening. Pep Guardiola went to buy players, and that's what he brought. So it was a game that demanded so much, and I felt like, the game really gave us something to smile about. City controlled the position. I felt like that was the mission of Pep Guardiola. He wanted to control the position. He wanted to always force Liverpool to make mistakes out of the pressure he was putting on Trent Alexander-Arnold. So many times, if you did not really watch this game in a tactical point of view, you just watched it with your eye test, you would have missed so many things that we saw. Pep Guardiola was playing a back three. Aki, Diaz, and Walker, with Akanji playing in the midfield alongside Rodri, and forward were the front three, of Foden. So it was Foden, then this guy Julian Alvarez, and Bernardo Silva. So Bernardo Silva was on the was on the side of Trent Alexander-Arnold while we had this. No, it was actually Doku, Bernardo Silva, and Doku, Bernardo Silva, and Foden. There were three in front, Haaland up top. The purpose of this, which I actually got to see as we were watching the game, he always wanted to have that box in the middle of Liverpool's midfield to disturb them so that he had control over the ball. And Liverpool actually came up with a good tactic. They wanted Darwin Núñez to drop a bit in so that he could actually make that box as well, alongside Dominic Soboslai, McAllister, and Curtis Jones. But so many times Edison was taking time with the ball to try low in, try and force him out. And when Darwin Núñez does that, the ball either goes to Rodri, or he would, or maybe because the ball would look like it's going to Rodri, Liverpool's midfield like Soboslai would, or Curtis Jones would try to go mark him, but in doing so, leaving a Bernardo Silva free, leaving either leaving this guy, what's his name? Julian Alvarez free, which meant that if the goalkeeper could pick one of them, it exposed maybe Dominic Soboslai and McAllister as they try to cover three players whether to. And if they cannot do that, you would find that the ball goes straight to Jeremy Doku, who you would see the movement of Bernardo Silva. He was trying to be two alongside Trent Alexander-Arnold to create that main advantage over Trent, a 2v1, which now would try to lure out would try to lure out this guy Joe Matip, and in doing that, so much space would be left for Haaland and Julian Alvarez, and they all had to be dealt with by Virgil van Dijk, and now Constant Tsimikas moves in and leaves Foden free. So it was a crazy tactical disadvantage that Liverpool had in this game. But I also felt like they handled the pressure well, especially Trent Alexander-Arnold, because they knew that this Jeremy Doku guy likes to run with the ball. So you know what they did, and I think this is very important. They either forced him to say when he's running past, he either runs on the sides, like he's going straight to the corner kick point, or maybe comes within inside. Because when he was coming within, it was easy for the midfielders to take the ball out of him, or even Joe Matip, because he'll be now moving from Trent's territory to Joe Matip. So I felt like that was very important because it stopped him to actually become the threat that so many people were expecting, and they did so well. So many people might look at this game and say that Trent Alexander-Arnold was passed by Doku by 7 times, but look at the way he was passing Trent Alexander-Arnold. He was passing him, and as much as he was passing Trent Alexander-Arnold, Trent was so calm into forcing him out of position or into taking him in the wings where he's less of a threat than what he could do. The first time he managed to actually do a successful take on, and I think it was only once in the game, he actually brought the ball in, which it was hard for Alisson to save. It ended up going out for a corner. That was dangerous. But after that, Liverpool were so good into forcing him out. And Man City, I actually saw that they were actually afraid of Trent Alexander-Arnold with his long balls and his passes. Because every single time whenever Trent would hold the ball, you would see that Bernardo Silva would move in and try to put so much pressure on Trent to not allow him to have chance to shoot those balls. He came in the midfield. He did so well, but it was hard for him to get so many chances. But like I said, this could have been a different game if this team was strong, because in the second half, Man City just disappeared. They just disappeared in the game. Of course, it was the tiredness. These guys, most of them are coming from international break. So many people were faking injuries and stuff like that, and a lot of things was happening. So it was definitely a different game, and so many people who were watching this game can actually testify to you that it was actually exciting to watch what could have happened, how it could have turned up, and how so many things would have actually come out of this game. But all in all, it gave us so much so much insight into the game, into the minds of these managers, what they can do with what they do. I'm wondering Liverpool how they'll look like if they have a proper DM who can hold on and actually fight like a road tribe type of a player. Of course, it's one of his kind at the moment, but a player who has even 60% of what Road offers. I thought Andre from Fluminense would be one player that would do so well for Liverpool. But that tells you how much it could be. It could have been a different game. Pep Guardiola also complained about the noise from the stands, that there was none. But guess what, man? It was a 12 o'clock game. Nobody's ever excited to be in the 12, to be so early to go watch a game, especially this big game, which requires the 12th man so much. You need your friends to be behind your teams, and the time where the game was being played did not really help the story. And we saw it in this game that they really struggled to get into the game. They really struggled to give anything, any account of whatever that they could offer in the game. So you see that there's so much to blame it on. There's so much we can look at and say, oh, this could have been and this could have been what caused, and could have been a different game or whatever that would have happened. But we are already here, people, so we have to move on. So this was the game. It ended 1-1, but tactically it was a good game. It was a good game. Go look at the people who does analysis and look at how the game was played. I felt like Klopp made a mistake putting on Diogo Jota, who could be injured, by the way. Should have put in maybe Luis Diaz to have those three players run at City defense, cause problems, because Jota's pace was missing. But also, you could see that Alisson was really tired, jet-lagged, and so many errors. But also, he did so well. There is a Foden goal that he saved, which should have been a goal. There is a shot from Haaland we saved as well, very close to him, which could have been a goal, which actually was converted to go become the Trent Alexander-Arnold goal. So as much as people say that Alisson did nothing, as much as people are trying to play this blame game on him and say whatever they're saying, they have to go look at the game as well and actually understand that also without him, this could have also been a different game. So really look at those things in Sam and actually understand that this team played so well, really so well. Anyway, I'm gonna move on to the next game, which I think was a shocker. A shocker. I did not see that one coming. But anyway, before I go to that game, Trent Alexander, by the way, that was an amazing goal. Look what I was telling you, the way the strikers of Liverpool were able to pull the defense and the midfield of Man City, which opened up space for a player to hit, and the midfield could not do anything. And that's where the goal of Trent Alexander-Arnold actually came from. But that was an amazing tactic, the way they did it and how they took advantage of that. I enjoyed that so much well. Anyway, like I'm saying, the other game that came out as a shocker was Newcastle 4, Chelsea 1. Everyone who was watching this game told me of how Chelsea was going to hurt Newcastle with the amount of injuries that Newcastle has, of course, and how they will take advantage of this, how they'll destroy this game and get this win and do as much as they can. This was actually a different game than what so many people saw in the very end. Newcastle scored 4 goals, and people will be like, no, of course, because they had a red card, but they only scored one goal after the red card of Reece James. They scored 3 goals while Chelsea was a full team. Chelsea's goal was in a crazy goal, free kick from Sterling, who, by the way, I think he has just certified himself maybe as a free kick taker for Chelsea. That's where the game goal came from. It was a free kick from Sterling. But rather than that, they were, I think, outclassed in the game. They just could not offer anything. And I felt like they needed something more. And that something more, we did not see it in this game. I'm talking about Chelsea. That's what that is. They just needed something more, and we did not see it in the game. They tried to play it, they tried to do so much, but they could not get anything. They could never get into the ascendance of this game. I felt like Newcastle controlled so well. I felt like the Geordies did so well. Position wise, like I'm telling you, it was 54 to 46, so it was not really that far. 4 shots on target for Chelsea to 5 of Newcastle, and 4 of those 5 shots on target were goals. One did not go, so it means the goalkeeper of Chelsea was not really the best in this game. Did not really offer enough, if one could say. So there is so much to talk about. It left so many people with so much anger. Mauricio Pochettino was watching this game from the stands. He was complaining about this being the worst game he has ever seen because the team did not just go into the game at all. Did not give anything, like any account over what you'd expect them to do. They did not show anything that anyone could smile about. And that has to be a problem, you know. That has to be a problem because you need to take advantages of situations like this. You need to show that you have something to offer as a team, and that's not what Chelsea did. Traveling all to go to the Geordies. Imagine after all the momentum that they built from the Tottenham win, from the City draw, everything that they did, to all come back to this. Like, the 360 that happened here was just too much. I even said it to somebody, you know, I don't know if this person will ever come out. I said that the international break for Chelsea came out at the wrong time. The reason why I thought it came out at the wrong time is because it was going to draw down the momentum of this team. It was going to limit them from showing what they were doing, from their capabilities. What they were showing in the game was going to disappear. And I think we saw it in full burst. We saw it all in fulfillment in this game. And that has to change. If they want to compete for something meaningful, this has to change. They need to prove to not only to us but to the whole entire world that they are a team that are serious in winning games. They are a team that has something to offer, not to disappear in the moments when you expect them to actually appear, not to disappear in the games that you expect them to take advantage of and give us an account of what they can offer as a team. As a football team that is really being built. They were playing with the Newcastle that even though Amaral was back, even though Isak was back, they were still missing a hell lot of players. Let me look at the substitute of Newcastle to just tell you exactly how many players were not even in the game. To just tell you how many players were not in the game for this team. Let's see. Because there were so many players who were missing from this game, and Chelsea should have taken advantage of this. Chelsea should have taken advantage of this. I shall have to search it, by the way. I had not prepared for that, but anyway, it's almost done. Chelsea had something to offer. They should have gotten something out of this game, but they just could not offer anything. So yes, as I look at the game in terms of the team that Newcastle had in the middle, Paul Dimitri, Mateo Redic, Amadou Diallo, Alex Murphy, Michael Norbert, Martin Dubravka, Loris Karius, Maghreb, and Ben P. Perkelson. That is not even any team that somebody could be smiling about and say that's a strong team. No, it's not. And that's what I'm talking about. That's where my problem is. They didn't have anything to prove, anything to smile about this team. They didn't have a good team. But that team did the business. They are strike force. Look at how the goals were set up. By the way, that goal that was scored from a mistake from Thiago Silva, that was just a hell of a mistake that, you know, no any professional wants to do. That was painful to watch. But all in all, a defender scores for Newcastle. Jolinton scores after Isak scores. Jolinton scores, then Gordon scores the last goal. That was some crazy game, man. How do Chelsea recover from this? It's like they're always taking 2 steps forward, 3 steps back. That's where my problem with Chelsea is. You want to see them recover, you want them to show you something, but massively they make so many mistakes that when you want them to go forward, they always prove you wrong by coming back. Like I'm saying, they take so many steps forward and so many steps back. And that has to change if they are going to fight for anything meaningful. And if they're going to be accountable for anything that they want to do, whatever they win in this game, in this season. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. The game finished Newcastle 4, Chelsea 1. It's a long season, people. It is a long season, and so many things can still happen. The other surprise of the weekend on a Saturday has to be Luton 2, Crystal Palace 1. Now, this was a Crystal Palace that was none like others because so many players were back. Eze was in the game, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, Eze was in the game. We also saw that Ossie was actually, Michael Ossie was back in the team. Edu played as well, but they lost the game. They lost the game in the very end. Ayu came in, could not offer anything. Let's talk about Newcastle for a change. No, I mean, let's talk about Luton Town for a change. I'm done with the Newcastle. I said in the beginning of the season that this team could be my surprise of the season. I told you the reason why. I just thought that unlike the other team that, of course, they've already have the big names, the Burnleys, the Sheffield United, all of these guys, they are so good that they can always offer something new. But I just had this weird feeling that Luton Town could surprise the Premier League. The reason why I was thinking like that, and I have to tell you the truth. I looked at this team and I said that Sheffield United, we've seen them in the new Premier League, and some Premier League teams have played with them, as well as Burnley. And also we can all see what new Vincent Kompany is playing, that Highline that is playing. But with Luton Town, the reason why I said they were the surprise team of the season is because I was looking at this team and I could not see anything wrong that I can really hold on to and say that this team is not perfect. I said that this team just wrote an amazing, a terrific story. I don't think they've ever been in the Premier League since the Premier League era even began. So it's a team that nobody expects anything from them. It's a team that is coming out proving the world wrong, because if I had properly, they were in Division 1 or maybe they were in League 1 before being in the Championship last season and playing into the Premier League. I just felt like it was just a beautiful tale, a beautiful story that could actually help them buy out a season into the Premier League. And now, when you think about it, now when you look at where we are now, maybe it did not sound crazy after all. Maybe I did not sound crazy after all. I remember when I said this, and I said that if there's anything that people are gonna come in and say crazy things about, is that people would laugh at me at the very end. But look at where we are, people. Look at where we are. This Luton team right now in the Premier League, as the table stands, they are actually number 4 from the top, from the bottom, not from the top, from the bottom. If they continue playing like this, they could, and that's very important. If they could win another game from here, they could, because right now they're number 17. If they could win another game here, 9, 10, 11, 12, they could go in same points with Bournemouth. with Fulham, with Nottingham Forest. The teams that are people thought they were too far from them, they are very close to them right now as we speak. They could move away from these teams. That's why I'm saying that I don't know. Let's see. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is just me trying to hope for something that isn't there. But just keep an eye on this Luton Town team. They stopped Liverpool from scoring in their ground. They just beat Crystal Palace, a team that is number 10 in the Premier League. No, number 13 in the Premier League. They just beaten that team. This league is full of surprise, people. And when I'm looking at week 14, the team that they're gonna play with next, this Luton team is Brentford. I'm not saying that they will beat Brentford, but you never know. Just keep an eye on this team. Just keep an eye. It's very important to never look down on any team. Just keep an eye. And also, I think their home matches are gonna matter more. So I don't know. Let's see what happens on the 2nd of December. But this team, it's a team that you have to keep an eye on because it's gonna surprise you, people. I'm telling you. Anyway, they beat Crystal Palace by 2-0. I felt like they really played so well. They were fighting. They showed that there's something to prove. They gave it all. They fought to the very end. Scored a goal at 72. Crystal Palace drew the game exactly 2 minutes later, then scored the last goal in 83 minutes. And they watched the game until to the very end. Luton Town wins the game. Imagine how the streets in Luton Town were like. It's crazy, it's crazy, it's crazy. That's why we love the Premier League. This is why we love the Premier League. This is why we live for the Premier League. Moments like this, surprises like this, we live for them. Anyway, West Ham beat Burnley by 2-0. Everyone expected that. Brentford beat Nottingham Forest by 3 goals to 2. Good game, by the way, because Nottingham Forest are a difficult team to play against in their own ground. I felt like this team made a mistake. Nottingham Forest scored an early goal, Alanga. I thought they had everything under control. Evan Ferguson came back, scored the goal. By the way, he was assisted by Pascal Gross. Scored another goal as well. It was João Pedro. Pascal Gross again with another assist. Imagine if you had him in your fantasy team and João Pedro scored the last goal. They tried to come back with Morgan Gibbs White, but the game was over. Then Brighton got a red card, double yellow, I think, for Dunk. I think it was actually a straight red card. No, I think it was, yeah, I think it was, I don't know, I think it was double yellow. I'm not sure. Somebody tell me in the comment section who was watching this game. It was one of those games. Bournemouth beat Sheffield United by 3-1. Sheffield, they are on home ground. They are going to be in trouble. But the other game that came as a surprise on Saturday was Arsenal 1, Brentford 0. And then I have to tell you, Arsenal suffocated in that game. They suffocated. It was difficult for them to get something out of this game, but they fought to the very end. They got the game, they got the goal, and Kai Havertz was the hero. Every Arsenal fan is singing of him except of Lee Garner. Now, I did not see that one coming, but do we really care though at the very end? This goal was very important because it put Arsenal on top of the league because they were hoping that Liverpool City could maybe end the game into a stalemate, and that's exactly what happened. They took their advantage in the last minute of the goal, minute of the game, 88 minutes. So many errors from Ramsdale's, man. So many errors from Ramsdale. It's just that Brentford did not have their shooting boots on, but this should have been a different game for this team. So many errors from Ramsdale, and I have nobody to blame when it comes to this except of Arteta. He brought this whole craziness. He is the reason why Arsenal are struggling right now. He is the reason why Ramsdale is having a shock of a season. He started all this. We are not even supposed to be talking about this. This goalkeeper was good, but this guy, I have no idea where he gets his football tacticals, and he just tried to do things that are just beyond him sometimes. That just get somebody so angry sometimes. And we saw the goalkeeper struggling, making errors. He did make some amazing saves at the very end, and the team showed that they're in solidarity with him, came in to hug him, to give him that they're with him. Now that tells you that it's not only us who are watching from outside who can see that there is something happening in the dressing room, but also people outside, inside, even the players can see that what the manager is doing is really harsh, but they have to be with him. Anyway, it ended 1-0. Kai Havertz, like I'm saying, an unlikely goal scorer, became the guy who won the match for this team. Let's see where they go from there now. Yeah, I think I'm done with that one. They're on top of the league, like I said. Tottenham Hotspurs, Aston Villa 2. This was today's game. Son scored so many goals. So many goals which were offsides. So many offside goals for Son. I've never seen. I think he actually scored a hat-trick of offsides. A hat-trick of offsides. Kept scoring offside, scores again offside. It was just not his day, man. I think there was a panic in terms of the way the game was approached by Aston Villa, but they got the belief in the end, and they really took advantage of Tottenham Hotspur's lack of lethal defenders. I know. Nobody really expect Emerson and Ben Davis to actually be the best that you could see. But Postecoglou is gonna die with his high line. He's always gonna keep playing his high line, and I think you always get to see moments like this, situations like this. But anyway, it's crazy. But we have to move. It's exciting times, people. It's exciting times. I felt like Martinez had one of the best saves of this game as well, because there was a moment Spurs almost came back into this game when they were leading by 2 goals, not to 1. And he saved an amazing game, which helped this team to actually see this game through to the very end. Paul Torres, what an amazing goal for him, well deserved, and Ole Watkins with a header. No, with a goal scorer. I think he kicked it with his leg. It was a good game. Sorry for the Spurs. Expression lost it, really went crazy. But I don't think the defense of Spurs were really that terrible. It was just in those moments when their team was not really structured enough where this team took advantage of. But now it's a team that is different. 10 games winning, now 3 games in a row losing. That's crazy. In the last 13 games, they've won 10 and they've lost 3. No, I think they've won. Yeah, they've won 10 and lost 3. That's exactly how it is. Did they draw? I don't know if they had a draw. I'm not sure. Yeah, I think they did draw 1 game. But they've lost now 3. It's now a different Spurs. It looks like they're going way, way down than even going up. I don't know. Spurs fans can tell you what they're feeling. Let's now go to the last game of the weekend, where we saw Everton lose by 3 goals to 0 against Manchester United. Kobe Meno. I think that's how you call it. Is this Kobe? No, it's Kone Meno. I think it's Kone Meno. Is it? It's Kone Meno. Help me, the people, the United fans. Is it Kone Meno or Kone? Let me look at his name. Don't want to say it's really wrong, like I am already. Oh, so it's Kobe Meno. So I was correct in the beginning. Man, that kid is gonna be good. I have to agree. That kid is gonna be very, very, very good. He's showing that he has something to prove. He's giving us those moments, those die-hard moments that you hold on to, that excites you, that gives you that excitement. The way he played this game, the way he gave us these amazing things. And on this podcast, I have to really make it perfectly clear that he's only 18 years old. Hold on that midfield of Everton, who, by the way, Everton played so well, but just did not finish their dinner. And if you don't finish your dinner, it's never a surprise if you finish last. It's never a surprise if you finish last. You always have to finish your dinner. And that's what Everton did not do. And at the end of the day, they lost the game. Garnacho. Alejandro Garnacho, Alejandro, I think it's Alejandro Garnacho. Yeah, try to pronounce it proper to those people who are going to be watching this on audio forms. Yeah, it's Alejandro Garnacho. This was a good game, by the way, for him. That goal could be one of the contenders of goal of the season. Maybe win the goal of the month award, or even win the Puskas goal of the year 2023. That was a good goal. The connection, the way that he did it. And I think that was very important because remember they were playing with the Goodson Park where the fans of Everton were really not having it. They wanted to put it in the face of the Premier League. They wanted to show something. And the way that goal took out the energy out of Goodson Park was amazing. This ground just went from what to quietness. And now that tells you exactly everything you need to know about this team and how much they always keep fighting to the very end. They have something to prove. And it seems like they're working so hard to prove it. Alejandro Garnacho, and a penalty which I still believe it was one of the softest penalties you can ever get. But I think also they made it easy for the referee. You can't do that if you actually am. For Bruno giving that penalty to Marcus Rashford, I think that is a statement for his own, that as much as we don't characterize him, give him that character as a good captain, he do has some sides in him that gives him that he could be one of the best captains in the Premier League. But he has to work on it. Giving it to Marcus Rashford, helping boost the confidence, was perfect. And also assisting Anthony Martial with the last goal. I felt like it was a fairy tale at the very end. I felt like it ended up writing this amazing, perfect story for Manchester United as a club, Manchester United as a team. And now, to be honest, they have won 5 of their last 6 games. Talk about form. Talk about consistency. Yes, I know the games have not been perfect, and I know they've been playing with the bottom teams, but they have done it. So many people, including me, thought that they would lose against Everton, but they didn't. And that has to mean something. If it doesn't mean something, it has to at least have a meaning somewhere. They fought to the very end. So you have to give them respect. You need to give them respect about how they did. They played so well, and they deserved to be given the respect that they do get. It's going to be an exciting time for them. Let's see how they go forward, how they prepare for this. But they did so well. They did so well. So last game which is left now in this week, Fulham versus Wolves, which my money is on Fulham. On Wolves, I think they're going to win this game by 2 goals or maybe 3 goals to 1. Fulham are not the team that they were with Alexander Mitrovic. They are different teams. Champions League is back this week. We will be watching AC Milan versus Dortmund, in which I believe Dortmund will beat AC Milan by 2 goals to 0. I'm just gonna run this through, people. By the way, Barcelona versus Porto, which I believe Barcelona will win this game by 3-1, maybe. PSG versus Newcastle. Now this is the payback, and I feel like Newcastle are gonna lose this game either by 2-1. I feel like that's what's gonna happen. Man City are gonna be playing with RB Leipzig 3-0. It's always like that. We'll be watching Galatasaray versus Manchester United. Now that's where the test is. United need to prove something. They need to show that they can do something. It's gonna be exciting to see how that one goes. But let's be honest, people. let us all be honest. We have seen the story before. We know what always happens in these types of games. And as I look at it, I have a strong feeling that Galatasaray are gonna win this game, either by 2-0 or 2-1, which means Champions League dreams for United comes to a very end. Sevilla versus PSV. It's gonna be a good game. Sevilla win that game by 2-1. Bayern versus Copenhagen, 2 or 3-0 for Bayern. Real Madrid versus Napoli. Now that is a perfecto. That is an excitement. That is a good game. Could be 1-1 draw, but it's gonna be a demanding one. Trust me, especially to those people who will be watching it. Wednesday, Arsenal on Wednesday. Now these are some the Real Madrid game. By the way, it's the Wednesday game. Arsenal as well will be playing. Will be playing as well against. Let me see which team they will be playing with. They will be playing against Lens. I think Arsenal win that game by 2-1. I know they lost it at Lens. I think it's time for them to win it now. Benfica will be playing against Inter. That's a good game. Inter wins it for me 1-0. 1-0. Yeah, just a 1-0. And that's what ends the Champions League games and my predictions over the bigger games that will be watching there. Europa as well is back. Europa is back. Liverpool. I think I'm only going to talk about the Champions League games here. The Premier League games, teams here. We're going to be watching LSK versus Liverpool at Anfield. I think Liverpool win the game by 3-0. I'm happy that so many players are back from injuries. I think that was very important. It's going to help us going forward. The other team we need to also talk about, just to give you my predictions over, is is it? Oh, where is Brighton? Brighton are playing with a team with AKVK Antes. It's gonna be at the other ground. 1-0 to Brighton. West Ham are playing a team called Beka Topela. What the frick? What the Christ is that? What the Christ is that? I think they win it by 1-0 as West Ham. Those are my predictions, people. I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section. Do me a favor, click the like button, subscribe to the Connect. We'll be back again with another one. This was the Weekend Review podcast. I hope you enjoyed. Let me hear what your thoughts are and how you enjoyed the Premier League as a whole. Exciting times. So many players that were out came back and showed their quality. I'm out. I've been Sam. We'll be back again with another one. Click that like button and subscribe to the Connect. Peace out.